Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 25th October 2025. Before getting started, I want to make a small announcement. We are going to start our ethics module from today onwards, guys. And today we are going to provide you the free demo, and today's class is about orientation of ethics. So if you want to join that class, you can directly come to Institute at 5 p.m. or else if you want to watch on online, so please do register for that. If you want to register, please do message on WhatsApp on this number 8074765513, guys. Don't forget. And let us see the topics of the day. So today is Saturday. So because of this, there is no text and context and as well as no opinion page. So the number of articles will be less normally on this Saturday, guys. So the first topic we are going to discuss about one tragedy happened in AP, guys. It is about the bus accident. So in that bus accident, around 19 passengers, they were burnt to death, guys. And this topic is important from your disaster management. And here you have to see like what are the acts which are present in our country which is focusing on this road safety and road accident. So that is important from your governance point of view. And next topic, it is about Prime Minister will lead parade on 150th birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So this year we are going to celebrate this 150th anniversary. So in history, you can expect questions like 25th or 50th or 100th or 125th, 150th. So here you can sure expect 100% sure question regarding the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in your prelims case. And next one is Gnan Bharatam mission to ink pact with institutes. So this article is talking about one important project of our government of India, that is Gnan Bharatam mission, and actually it is focusing on preserving of manuscripts, guys. So it is important from governance point of view. And next topic is EC warns parties against misuse of AI generated content during elections. So actually we are going to have Bihar elections, right? So in that Bihar elections, here election commission is warning that yes, political parties, they should not misuse this AI generated content. So recently our government also taking lots of steps to protect this AI generated content. You have to see both together. Our next topic is respect the health rights of India's children. So recently we discussed in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, many children they died because of contamination of cough syrup. So this is about that article, guys. So these all are the topics that we are going to see in this class. Okay, look at the first article title, guys. 19 passengers burned to death as sleeper bus catches fire in AP. So can you see the image here? So actually, lots of people who are there in that region and who are survivors of that incident, they said that there is no intimation given by bus driver and cleaner. So they just get off the bus. So that is the reason why, especially people in this bus, they didn't aware about what is happening to that bus. And actually it happened in early times of the day. It is around 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. like that. So because of this, the passengers in this bus were in deep sleep. So they were not aware of what is happening, and that led to this disaster, guys. So what is the keyword here in this article? So can we take entire road accidents? So the keyword here is road accidents. So road accident is one of the major cause of deaths in our country, right? So for every 3 minutes, there will be one accident. Yes or no in India? So recently our government took one step. What is that? Yes, government, not government exactly, NHAI, National Highway Authority of India, came up with one advancement. What is that? We are going to install 3D sensors and as well as AI based cameras on highways. So because of this, what is advantage of this 3D sensors and AI based cameras on highways? So they are going to identify potholes and what they do, and they also identify road cracks, potholes, and not only that, whatever the uneven surfaces are there, they will also identify uneven surfaces, and that data they will directly upload in National Highway Authority of India's cloud base. So what happens now? So directly this 3D sensors and AI cameras will send this data to this cloud-based center. So now what happens? Now directly engineers will get information regarding this, and what happens? They'll go for maintenance of the roads. So there will be no manual inspections and manual delays will be reduced. So because of this, obviously we can reduce road accidents in our country. Okay. So here this is one current affairs. So apart from this, here now you have to focus on what exactly the reasons for this present disaster, and next you have to see from governance point of view, from disaster management point of view, and society point of view, what is the impact of this issue. And next you have to think about way forward. Why? Because if you are a government officer in any of this concerned area, so how can you prevent this kind of incidents in future? You may get case study directly. So in your GS paper 4, in part B we have case studies, and mostly 95% those case studies will be based on this current affairs related events. So obviously you have to know what are the steps that you're going to take in future to control this kind of incidents. Okay, now let us see this article clearly. So if you see the context, it says that 19 people including 2 children were burned to death and their bodies charred beyond recognition. We can't recognize whose body is that. So that much deadly incident happened. After Hyderabad Bangalore sleeper coach bus caught fire after a collision with a motorcycle in the outskirts of Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh. So this incident happened in Andhra Pradesh, and it is a private bus. Okay, and this bus is traveling between this Hyderabad and Bangalore. So if you see from this GS paper 2 under governance and polity point of view, so you have to see certain things. So actually government is having certain laws, and government is also maintaining certain standards for operation of this private buses on the roads. So what is that act? So especially government is focusing on this bus safety. For this we have Central Motor Vehicular Rules. Okay, so already government came up with setting of rules and standards for this bus safety. You have to remember that, guys, because every year you will get at least 4 to 5 incidents regarding this bus accidents. Okay, so we have Central Motor Vehicle Rules, and also we have Automotive Industry Standards, AIS standards. For goals, we will be following BIS standards, right? Regarding this bus also, we have certain standards in India, that is AIS, Automotive Industry Standards. In this AIS 135 talks about fire detection and suppression, and next one is AIS 153 talks about bus body code. Okay, so in this AIS also for fire and suppression of fire, they have to follow AIS 135. And regarding bus body is nothing but the outer surface, everything that talks about this AIS 153. And even we have separate ministry for this road, right? We have Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, which is enhancing norms, and even this ministry is also mandating fire protection system in sleeper and school buses. Okay, government is taking lots of steps. And next, the problem here is, despite of these regulations, there is a gap that we have. What is that gap? The policy formation and implementation gap is there. So because of this gap only, this kind of incidents are happening in India. And next one here is, we are also having loopholes in older vehicles. So even we have pollution controls, and even we came up with this vehicle scrap policy. But even though on our road we can see older vehicles will be moving on. Yes. Why? There is lack of regular inspections. And next one here is, there is weakness in enforcement of machinery and oversight mechanisms. They are the mistakes from our governance side. And next one here is, India is also having a road safety framework, and also Government of India came up with certain initiatives like Safe System Approach, Bharat NCAP, Vehicle Scrapping Policy. In this vehicle scrapping policy, it says that if you are using that vehicle for more than 15 years, we have to throw it away. That policy is called as Vehicle Scrap Policy. So all these are the road safety policies government came up with. But even though what is happening, we are not on track to meet international goals. Okay, so what is the goal of our country? We have to have traffic deaths by 2030. One more target for 2030 is we have to reduce accidents on our road by half, 50% of reducing of road accidents by 2030. And if you see, regarding this accident data and analysis, there is lack of comprehensive national database also. You're not having one database. If you're having a database, we can go for entry of data. If there is any accident which happened in any part of our country, so they will drop this data in one database, so that we'll be having a clear-cut data about accidents in India. So there is no proper database in our country also. So to overcome this, Government of India came up with an initiative. Please make a note, that is Integrated Road Accident Database. And we are also coming up with Electronic Detailed Accident Report to address this problem of national level database. You have to make note of this kind of keywords. If you are not writing this kind of keywords in your answer, you won't get marks case. Okay, first one is we are going to come up with this Integrated Road Accident Database. Next one is Electronic Detailed Accident Report. If you say from disaster management point of view here, so if you take our roads itself, are we having good road infrastructure? So the problem here is we have a very poor design of roads, inadequate lighting, especially during this night times and early morning hours, and we have improper signage. So actually, when we are going on our roads, I think you might have seen this kind of things. So if it is a main road, so there will be small roads will come and meet this main road. Do you know this? So do we have any proper signage that there is a small road which is connecting here? What happens if suddenly vehicles are coming fast at here and here also moving at a very high speed? What happens? That will lead to accidents. So actually there is no proper signage, and everywhere roads are not straight here. There will be like this also. Yes or no? So whenever we are having this kind of diversions or anything, the people, who are traveling on this road, if they are the new one into this area, will they know all these kinds of things? No, then that will lead to the high rate of accidents in our country. So here regarding these roads, there is no proper signage also in our country. That is also one important problem. Signage is nothing but they have to keep the boards and let this people who are driving that vehicle to know what is there ahead. And next one here is potholes also leads to lots of accidents in our country. To deal with that potholes, recently we came up with this 3D sensors and AI based cameras. And next one here is there is no proper vehicle safety also. So not only this fire safety, especially in some movies, in some incidents, you might have seen that there is no proper braking system also for the vehicles, and sometimes some older vehicles, they don't have even airbags also. So these are also certain problems that we are having in our vehicle safety. And even there are lots of movies which shows that in a small car, so how many people will be sitting if it is a 5-seater capacity car. So there will be one movie, old movie, in that old movie we can see like, so in that one small car, around 10 to 12 people will be coming out. Yes or no? Even if you see normally auto rickshaws will be moving on the road. In that auto rickshaws also, beyond the capacity, they will be sitting here and there, one on another like that. So here what happens, there is also over capacity. And if you see the buses in the city, especially in this Hyderabad near this Ibrahimpatnam region, where we have large number of engineering colleges, students will be standing on the steps also, and they will be fighting, yes or not, to stand on the steps also. There will be overcrowding of these vehicles. So this is also one important problem that we have in our road system, that is leading to this increasing of road accidents. Okay. If you say from society point of view, is it violating any article? So if there is loss of life of people, it is affecting Article 21, which talks about right to life and personal liberty, guys. And next one here is the people who are traveling on this road, do they have proper safety? Will they use this kind of system? There will be losing of trust. And actually people, they don't know about even the safety precautions they have to use in their personal vehicles. Like many people, do they use seat belts? Seat belts they won't use. If they use seat belts, then only this airbags open, or else the airbags will not open. So there is lack of awareness to the people, like how they have to maintain safety measures while they are traveling on the road. So we have to improve that. So in this way, you can cover different dimensions of your subjects like polity, governance, society, disaster management. And now you have to think about what is the way forward, what can be done. So first one here is we have to increase safety measures. And this one is we have to incorporate technology. So now there is lots of advancement in technology, right? So we can use that same kind of technology to save the lives of people in this road accidents. So we can use technology especially for monitoring, for inspecting, and next one is we can change the design of the vehicles so that we can increase more safety of the people. And next one here is we can improve our road infrastructure by using this technology. And even especially human factor is also one important cause here. So we have to go for training of drivers, training of cleaners, and especially we need even passenger awareness. So if you get into the flight normally, so before starting of this flight, air hostess will be telling about what safety measures they have to follow in emergency conditions, right? So the same way, if you are increasing this kind of technology, by using this technology, if you are incorporating any safety measures in that vehicle, so even there should be a proper awareness for the people what they have to do in emergency situations also. We can incorporate that here. And this one is we can come up with systemic reforms in our transport system, vehicle manufacturing, road infrastructure, entire ecosystem need a regulatory oversight now. And this one is it cannot be done only by the government. We need to have a multi-stakeholder collaboration. So government needs to coordinate with industries, and even the bus drivers and cleaners, they have to give awareness to the public who are traveling in that. So we need multi-stakeholder collaboration so that we can prevent this kind of incidents in future, guys. So this is about this topic in detail. Clear? And now let us see the next article. See the title, guys. Prime Minister will lead parade on 150th birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So what is the keyword here? Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So here, whenever you are reading any personality, you have to see about when he was born, where he was born. And next you have to see what was his contribution during this Indian freedom struggle. And after we got independence, what was his role? Because UPSC can ask question all these three dimensions, guys. Okay, actually Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, you will be studying about this person in your post-independent India because he played a very, very important role in integration of princely states to Indian Union. So before that, he also played a very important role in even Indian freedom struggle also. We have to see both these areas. And this topic is important from your history point of view. And if it is 150th, 125th, 100th anniversary, for sure 100% you will get a question, guys. Okay, so this year you can expect question regarding the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in your 2026 prelims. So in your history, you have to keep star mark for this topic. Okay, let us see the facts. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was a pivotal figure in our Indian independence movement. And actually he was born on 31st October 1875 in Gujarat. Okay, so if you see about his role in Indian freedom struggle, he was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi and he joined freedom movement in the year 1917. So actually Gandhi ji returned from South Africa to India in year 1915, and after that he started participating in different movements, and he first participated in this Champaran Satyagraha. And after that in 1917, so this Patel was inspired by this Mahatma Gandhi and he also entered into this freedom struggle. And he played an important role in Kheda Satyagraha in 1918 and Bardoli Satyagraha in 1928. In this Bardoli Satyagraha only, people gave title to this Vallabhbhai Patel. The title is Sardar. Okay, so you may get this point as a question, guys. So in which of the following Satyagraha Vallabhbhai Patel got Sardar title? That is Bardoli Satyagraha. So in this way, UPSC will ask even simple questions. And next one is he was a close associate of Mahatma Gandhi, and he was instrumental in organizing ground level protest. Especially he also participated in the Sal Satyagraha and Quit India movement also. And after once we got independence, this Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel served as first deputy prime minister and home minister between 1947 to 1950, guys. And at that time, he has only one important goal at that time was to integrate more than 560 princely states with our Indian Union. And he took that. So because of this, he got this title called as Iron Man of India. And next one here is he is also recognized as patron saint of India's civil servants. And next one here is he is also called as steel frame of our country. And he also played a very important role in our constituent assembly also. He involved in different committees. He headed committees like fundamental rights and provincial constitutions. So this point you can read in your Lakshmikant guys in making of constitution chapter. And he also organized relief efforts for refugees fleeing from Pakistan during the partition, worked to restore peace. So that time what happened during this independence time, Mountbatten came up with this Mountbatten plan, which divided India into West Pakistan, East Pakistan and India. At that time, especially people across these borders, they had a lot of confusion whether to stay with India or whether to go to Pakistan. So at that time, lots of times what happens, the people movement across the border happened. So at that time, he played a very, very important role in even restoring of peace at that time, guys. And Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was very committed for the national unity. So because of this, on his birth anniversary on this October 31st, every year we'll celebrate as Ekta Divas, Rashtriya Ekta Divas or National Unity Day. And he gave one quote. So this kind of quotes you can use in your essay and whenever you're writing your mains answers. Unity is the most powerful force in the world. In your society, the first chapter is salient features. In that, we'll be discussing about unity and diversity, right? So whenever you're writing such kind of answers, you can give the quotes of this famous personalities. Unity is the most powerful force in the world. Okay? Yeah, so this is about this topic, guys. And now let us see the next article. See the title, Gnan Bharatam Mission to Ink Pact with Institutes. So the key word here is Gnan Bharatam Mission. Okay, so here you can get two types of questions in your prelims. So first one is, recently our government of India unveiled a program for the protection of manuscripts in our country. What is that? They'll give you 4 options and in that one will be Gnan Bharatam Mission. So that is the first kind of simple question can be given. Or else if they want to complicate the question, they will give like, consider the following statements regarding Gnan Bharatam Mission, and they'll give you 3 to 4 statements and they'll ask you how many questions are correct, how many statements are correct, or else which of the following statements are incorrect or correct. So in that way, you can expect question regarding this, guys, because this scheme launched in year 2025 itself. So it is very recent scheme. Okay, so this topic is very important from your GS paper 2 under governance. So if you see the context, this article is saying that Gnan Bharatam Mission on manuscripts, which ministry is taking care of it? Ministry of Culture. Very important, please make a note. Ministry of Culture, it is going to sign memorandum of understanding with around 20 institutes across the world. Across our country, not world, across the country. And in this, they are focusing on maintenance and digitalization of manuscripts. Okay, they want to preserve this manuscripts. For this, our government came up with this mission called as Gnan Bharatam Mission. And now we are going to integrate with 20 institutes. And now with that 20 institutes, now Ministry of Culture will integrate and coordinate and they will preserve this manuscripts now. Okay, now let us see what are the objectives of this mission. The first one is we want to survey and we want to collect manuscripts and we want to have a digital documentation of that manuscripts. And especially these manuscripts are there in academic institutions, they are there in some museums, libraries and private collections. All of them, they are collected and they are going to preserve now on online database. And next one is they want to establish facilities for the preventive and curative conservation of manuscripts. And next one is they want to go for setting up of one digital platform. And next, why they are going to create this kind of digital platform, especially it will be helpful for increased accessibility for the people, and even whenever the people wants to get knowledge or whenever they want to get anything regarding this old systems, they can easily retrieve the information if it is stored in online. And it will be also helpful for our research and as well as education, because those manuscripts are or the bundles of knowledge of our ancient times. And next one is it will be also helpful for our experts through the structural programs and workshops. Now government can also create workshops and as well as programs, so that government can also provide this ancient knowledge to the next generation people. Okay, yeah. So what is the significance of this mission? The first one is we can protect our culture, especially philosophy, science, medicine, mathematics, arts, literature, spiritualities. In all these areas, they are going to collect manuscripts now, and that will be helpful for protection of culture. And next one is we can also revitalize our knowledge system now. And next one is it will integrate modern technologies like AI and digital platforms, so that we can bridge the gap between our ancient knowledge and contemporary understandings. And we can also follow Article 51A. What does Article 51A talks about? Online students? Fundamental duties, right? So in that one, fundamental duty is preservation of India's composite culture. So we can also achieve that fundamental duty now, and we can promote global leadership, and as well as digitalized manuscripts can serve as a valuable resources for research, innovation, culture diplomacy, so that we can also enhance international collaboration as well. So this is the main aim of this mission. And now let us see the next article, guys. See the title. Election Commission warns parties against misuse of AI generated content during elections. So we are going to have elections in Bihar, right? So because of this now, here there are widespread of AI apps, AI generated things. We can easily generate content, we can easily generate images, videos, we can also morph videos, images, everything is possible now. So because of this, what is happening, there may be a chance of spread of misinformation in the social media platforms. So because of this, what happens? That may leads to changing of opinion of public in this elections. If we are changing or if you are manipulating the public opinion, can we ensure free and fair elections? No. So because of this, AEC, Election Commission, is warning these political parties that don't misuse AI generated content. So for this only recently what our government did, government came up with amendment to IT rules of 2021, and it said that if there is any data or any image or any video which is made by using this AI, we have to label it that so and so thing is AI generated. And if you are generating any post or any image, so 10% of area should be occupied by this disclaimer that it is AI generated. And even if you are posting any video, initially 10 seconds of that video should be a disclaimer that this content is generated by using AI. So that what happens now, people will be knowing that what is AI generated or what is original. So that what happens, so we can minimize this manipulation of people's ideology, and we can decrease its impact on elections, guys, so that we can ensure to some extent, I'm not saying 100%, to some extent we can ensure free and fair elections. Okay, see this next article, guys. Respect health rights of India's children. So actually we discussed this article I think 1 week ago. So what we discussed there? So there is contamination of cough syrups. What is the name of that brand of cough syrup? Coldreff, yes. So which state is manufacturing that Coldreff syrup? Tamil Nadu is manufacturing that Coldreff syrup. And actually what is happening here is in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, some doctors, they prescribed that contaminated cold syrup, and that led to the deaths of around how many children? Around 25 children, they were died after consuming of this cold syrup. So what is the main contaminant there? On that day I said diethylene glycol and ethylene glycol. So especially to mix all those ingredients, they will be using certain solutions. Okay, in that solutions they will be using this glycerin. whenever this manufacturing companies or pharmaceutical companies, if they are using low grade glycerin, then what happen? That will disintegrate into this ethylene glycol and diethylene glycol. So ethylene glycol and diethylene glycol, they are contaminants that will be acting as a slow poison on the children, and that will lead to the death of the children. Okay, so that thing we discussed, right? So now this article is saying that we have to respect health rights of Indian children. So now let us see this article, and this is important from science and technology and even from your GS paper 2 under governance point of view. So here this article is saying that India urgently needs a comprehensive and holistic framework to monitor and regulate use of medicines for children. So if you are not using correct medicine in the children, it will lead to the death of that children. So if we are killing these children, so we are violating which article? Article 21, which says about right to life and personal liberty. And also we are going to affect our future India, right? Today's children are tomorrow's citizens. If you are killing the children now because of the spurious medicines, what happened? It is going to have impact on our future India for sure, right? So here this article is saying that substandard cough syrup, because of this contamination due to this diethylene glycol, that led to deaths of several children. Around 25 children were died in this Rajasthan and as well as MP region. So this case which mainly exposed that there are lots of serious gaps in India's drug regulatory ecosystem. So investigations revealed that there is poor manufacturing practices, and they are not using pharmacopoeia grade ingredients. That means they are not using high standards ingredients in this medicine. They are using very low standards. So if they are using very low standards, if there is any exposure to light, if we are not maintaining proper temperature, what happen? It will disintegrate, and that will lead to chemical reactions, and that will lead to this formation of contamination gas. So that is the reason which mainly happened. So because of this low grade pharmacopoeia ingredients, that directly endangered the lives of the children now. So why we need a holistic framework? As you all know that India is doing very good in this pharmaceutical industry, right? India became the pharmaceutical hub of the world. So if any country wants this pharmaceutical related drugs, medicines, everything, they're coming to India, and we are also exporting to different countries. And India also striving for Atmanirbhar, that is self-reliance in this pharmaceutical industry. So in this time, in this situation, whenever we are having this kind of incidents, is that good? So our pharmaceutical sector is going to be affected bad, and India will be getting loss of reputation regarding this pharmaceutical industries. So what happens? Entirely it will threat our aspiration and as well as public health. So for that we need to have a holistic framework now. And next one here is, there are lots of times we can see regulatory lapses. So there will be no proper inspections, audits, etc. And especially children are particularly vulnerable population, because if you see the children who are below 2 years of age, will they can express what is happening in their body? So even parents will not understand properly like what is happening wrong with that children. So if they will cry, if something happens wrong in their body, what these children, how they will respond? Just they will respond by crying. So whenever the children are crying and whenever they are not having proper food, then what happens? These parents will simply take that children to hospital, and they blindly believe doctor what they give, and they blindly give that medicine. So do these parents know what is wrong with that medicines? So what is happening here? So there is now our government is saying that we should not have any tolerance. We should not show any tolerance. We have to follow this zero tolerance policies against this poor quality medicines. So now this article is giving certain recommendations to prevent this kind of incidents in future. So please make a note. So first one is surprise inspections. So especially we have authorities, right? We have Food and Drug authorities. Okay, we have in India Drugs and Cosmetic Act. We have drug inspectors. So here these people, they have to go for surprise inspections and hawk-like monitoring. Hawk is nothing but hawk. Hawk and in Telugu we will call this as gadda antaru. So normally this hawk is having a good eyesight. With a very far distance also it can spot that thing clearly, and it will come and it will take it away. Do you know this? So here this article is saying that we need to have Hawk-like monitoring. You can use this type of keywords in your answers, guys. Hawk-like monitoring is critical for enforcing good manufacturing practices in India. And next one is we need to have a visible legal action against all forms of non-compliance. If there is no following of, if they are not following the rules and regulations properly, we need to have visible legal action. Everyone has to know that what kind of punishment they got, so that others will not come forward to do that kind of things again. And next one is we need to go for increasing of measures, especially we have to increase the safety so that we can boost India's image as a global pharma leader, or else we can't make. And this one is we need to come up with a framework. It must be integrated with national health priorities, and especially we need to focus on prevention, early detection, evidence-based protocols, and we need to have a proper coordination between the center, state, and as well as private sector, so that we can minimize this kind of incidents in future. Until and unless we are not taking these steps, we can't stop this kind of events, because it is not for the first time because of this drug or cough syrup contamination causes death in India. But in last year also, from 2021, more than 300 to 400 children across the world, they died because of Indian cough syrup, guys. So now it is a time to take proper steps so that we can prevent this kind of incidents in future, guys. So these are the important topics that happened in our today's in the newspaper. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and please do like this class and share this class. And don't forget to subscribe to Rathod's IAS Academy. And we are providing class notes or this PDF in our Telegram channel. You can follow us on our Telegram channel. The link is given in description box. And even you can follow us on our Instagram page, where we are providing prelim question with answer and as well as mains question with model answer, and also current affairs in short. And even in nowadays, we are also making current affairs in shorts in both English and as well as Telugu. So you can follow us on our both Rathod's IAS Telugu and English channel, guys. Thank you so much.